Hey everybody, Rosematter here, and welcome to a special Umineko video. So of course I did finish the full playthrough of Umineko last week, and it was amazing, and you guys have been so kind and nice with your comments. I can't get over how popular it was. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. It was one of my big playthroughs, but still, just the amount of comments and views is pretty overwhelming. You guys are probably as sad as I am that I'm done the game, but I am not done with Umineko. So I did speak last week about how I was going to be doing like a post-game discussion video, but a lot of you guys in the comments asked if I could read the chapter 8 of the Umineko manga because it has some things in there that weren't in the visual novel. Apparently this is a more complete version of the story. I was going to read the whole thing until I realized just how long the whole chapter was going to be. So there are specific chapters that people have said that were like kind of the best ones to read. So I'm going to break them down, and I'll have the timestamps. So if you guys want to skip to a specific one, so I'm going to be doing chapter 24B, which is, what is it called? It's the interlude. Then we've got chapter 25, which is, let me just see here, the Cage of Obligations. And we have chapter 37, which is When the Seagulls Cry, and then chapter 8, which is Golden Land. So those are the specific chapters I will be reading, just so that this isn't like 4 hours long. I'm sure you guys wouldn't mind, but that's a lot. So anyway, I'm going to be reading and reacting in real time here. So let's go ahead. Let's jump into it first with 24B interlude. All right, so this is the chapter 24B interlude. This is the one where Hachijo and Badler first meet after he washes up after the explosion. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of differences between this and the visual novel, or if it's just going to maybe like expand on it a bit. Also, I'll have the link down below to the website that I use for reading the manga if you guys want to check it out. I can hear it all the time. What is this sound? The sound of rain? How long have I been here for? Now this will be interesting because, you know, in the visual novel, obviously we saw things from Badler's point of view, so he wasn't able to be revealed. But for people who are reading the manga, I mean, I guess they'd probably figure out pretty quickly who this person is, because like initially you wouldn't even know if it was a man or a woman who Hachijo found. Is this your garden? If this is your garden, I should be the one apologizing. I see. One wants to take an afternoon nap and dress up in such a wonderful garden on a day with such nice weather. But if my memory doesn't fault me, this is a national public road. Or have you already been minced? Whatever it is, I wish you'd tell me. He's looking pretty rough. And also, kind of a weird way for someone to like find somebody on the side of the road and not be like, oh my god, are you okay? Do you need me to take you to the hospital? She's just so chill about it. I can see why her family kind of like thought she was odd and kind of like stopped talking to her. I see, so you're not minced meat yet. Alright, he's almost completely wasted away. See, already off the bat, you know it's a he, and then you can probably figure out pretty quickly who it is. Beyond that, the probability of memory impairment is quite high. I can't know any further without a CT scan, but it is possible the brain has been damaged. But it merely seems to be damaged, and overall he seems fine. If he had kept lying there, it wouldn't have ended this well for him. And there's Burn the cat. So, at any rate, I advise you should have him looked at a bigger hospital. Thank you, Doctor. I would like you to keep this case a secret. This isn't much, but please accept it as a travel compensation for your house call. I won't reveal this to anyone, but I simply cannot accept this money. That was a weird thing, too. It's like, when I first read this in the visual novel, and I realized, like, who it was, and I assumed Hachijo was, like, she was already writing stuff about, but then again, if the explosion had just happened, she wouldn't know anything about the whole incident. But for her to keep somebody who was, like, a victim of it, and just kind of keep them hostage almost, I would understand. But like the fact that she doesn't know who he is or how important he is, I always thought it was strange that she's like, let me just keep this person basically just like holed up in a house and not like reveal them to the public or take him to a bigger hospital. It's almost like she's lonely and living with her cat and servants, and she's like, I just want somebody else around, so I'm just kind of gonna keep him here. Oh my, you've woken up. How are you feeling? I am Hachijo Ikuko. You can just call me Ikiko or stay formal and say Hachijo-san. I don't mind either way. Hachijo Ikuko. Around these parts, the Hachijo family is quite well known as big landowners, but compared to the good records of my big brothers, I'm a little weird and have had a few slippages. I mean, the way that she interacts with someone found on the road, like I said, I can see why. I have done quite a lot of wrong things, so I've lost my parents' grace. They've given up on me. They basically keep me confined to this place, and she's like, and I will confine you too. My hobby is reading and writing mystery and detective novels. My age is a secret, and I am single. My heart is that of a young girl, but I am already approaching an age where it's just kind of ridiculous to say that. Well then, what is your name? My name. Like, they're still kind of keeping them, like, you know, all wrapped up. The bandage, you can't see the face, but I mean, I think it's pretty obvious if you're reading this who that's going to be. My name? My name is, I can't remember. I can't remember. Even though I understand logically that I have a name, I can't recall any more than that I am human. My head and my heart, they're torn up as if they're minced meat. I can't remember anything. Who am I? I mean, that shot right there, it's like, yeah, it could be a couple of people, but I mean, it's pretty obvious who it is. And granted, I'm saying this as someone who knows who that is, but I feel pretty obvious. I don't understand, but I had some kind of mission or goal, I think. So, do you remember anything besides your name? The back of my brain feels numb. Who am I? Where was I born? When was I born? I don't care, I just want to remember something. Age. Age? My age is a secret. 18 years. I look like 18? I am 18 years old. Granted, if you didn't look too much into it, you could say like, okay, that might also be except Shannon/Canon, Sayo. They were 19, so it wouldn't quite work. But I was like, oh, it's the whole thing, but because they said he, and the doctor checked them out, but they're intersex, I believe. So, you feel like that would be brought up if it was Sayo. Oh, Sayo slash what was the actual, I know Sayo was like the other name for, but I feel like there was another name for Sayo slash Shannon/Canon, and I can't remember what it is. I'm so sorry. Oh, you meant your own age. I already thought you started flattering me. To be quite honest, I only had a vague feeling about actually being 18. Felt as if my spirit had stayed young forever, and just my silly body had continued aging. Just when I asked myself about my age, the number 18 floated to the surface. I see, so you are 18, and you don't remember anything other than that. How about, until you remember your own name, we give you a name that is written as Japanese, or 18 in Japanese, with the reading Toya. Hachijo Toya. How about it? Yeah, I think that's quite manly. I have chosen well, yes, yes. Hachijo Toya. And from then onwards, I became known as Hachijo Toya. I was told my body couldn't move properly because of the traffic incident I'd been in. I was hit by a car right there on that day. And they apparently picked... Okay, I don't know if that may have been brought up in the visual novel. I didn't realize he'd been hit by a car. On top of everything else, I just thought that's like it was from, being washed up on the land after being out on sea for who knows how long after everything that happened. Apparently picked up by Ikiko, who found me collapsed. The unkind thought that it must have been her and no other who had hit me on that day came to sometimes. But I drew it back once I saw there was not even a scratch on the bumper of her car. Oh, there's Burn again with a little flower, or a little bow on the tail. I continued my rehabilitation slowly while I was being taken care of at her house. Step by step I regained control over my body. Yet, the impairment of my brain wouldn't get better. Okay, let's see what it says here. Who in God's name am I? If what she says is true and my memory's faulty, then whose are the scenarios and words and thoughts that keep flashing in the depth of my mind? The frustration of not knowing my own identity, as well as the splitting migraines that kept torturing me whenever I tried searching for it, kept tormenting me. The memory of being 18 was the only thing that came back to life. And even for that, I had no certainty of it being true. Before long, I was set on accepting being a new human given the name of Hachijo Toya in order to escape the headaches. And I abandoned remembering my prior self. So far, it seems like it's sticking pretty closely to the visual novel. Maybe it'll expand on this later. The one thing is, and granted, like I said, it might just be because it was mentioned in the visual novel and I just forgot or didn't catch it, was the fact that he'd been hit by a car before she found him. Good morning, Toya. Did you sleep well despite the horrible storm yesterday? No, I couldn't find rest at all. On rainy days, I'm just so restless. That's why I read your manuscript last night. My, how far did you get to read it? I read all of it. That is quite something, to read a manuscript of that length in just one night. I was really surprised. You became totally entranced and then read through it in one go, as if you just flew over the sentences. It seemed like you're quite crafted at speed reading. I used to be really quick at reading. I don't read as much, but when I was a kid, I could plow through books. I don't know how long her manuscript was, but I'm like, maybe not a whole night, unless like if I couldn't sleep, I'm like, I feel like I could read through a long book in a night. So how was it? Honest impression. It was really good. You should just maybe insert an explanation of the ocean currents, or else it's unfair as a detective novel. But it was so good that there was foreshadowing about the ring from the very beginning. I unconsciously started growling when I read over that part again. But that feeling is the epitome of detective fiction, I think. I think I said something rude. I'm sorry. No, why are you apologizing? I'm just surprised. Such accurate impressions are absolutely worthy of praise. Are you a literary critic by any chance? You seem to have some talent as a mystery author yourself. And this is where he's like, now he's having the flashbacks to like liking mystery novels, and then he's going to hurt his head. Detective novels, author, critique, a mystery battle. I have this feeling that I exchanged arguments about this topic before. All right, thank you. It's getting better, or it's better already. Toya, if you want, you can have surgery anytime. Brain surgery. If I undergo that surgery, even if there is no guarantee it will restore my memory, it would at least lessen the frequency of the headaches, the doctor said. No, I've already gotten used to the headaches being a part of me. Actually, I was afraid the true me sleeping somewhere in my brain might get hurt during surgery. I am now a new person called Hachijo Toya. Gradually, my interest shifted towards Ikiko. She was a peculiar woman. She was way too rebellious. She lived in this mansion she got from her parents, in terms of being disinherited, while making her servants do everything for her and living a life in luxury. She seems to have never been that sociable. There is not even friends coming to visit her. The only company to talk with... Wait, hold on. Let's try that again. Some of the sentences... The only company to talk with she has is me and her old cat, Bern. She seems to be in an age where she would be just about still marriageable, but practically being retired in a place like this. It's no wonder she doesn't meet anybody. I suppose she must have given up on marriage. Her daily life is quite monotonous. Ordering or searching for mystery novels or writing something herself, it was either one of those. First I thought she was a professional mystery writer, but her drafts always ended up being clipped together and thrown into a pile of other drafts. I didn't even notice her letting someone besides me read them. Being an author is a profession where you make other people read what you've written. So someone like her who doesn't let anybody read what she writes can impossibly call herself an author. Ikiko-san, why do you never show those drafts to anyone? I'm showing them to you. Of course, only the ones I'm satisfied with. It's kind of sad. I bet it would be great if you applied to a publisher somewhere. My works are not pro material. I sent one in once, but it wasn't any good. It's nothing more than amateur entertainment. Somebody with knowledge of any kind of mystery novels and trends doesn't really have the right to call herself an amateur. A gourmet doesn't automatically make a good cook. This is no different. Is it really fun to write novels that nobody else will ever see? It was fun once. And now? Now it's fun to hear your impression. She's like, I'm glad I kept you for myself. I mean, she did that even before she realized that he had a gift for, like, writing and reading novels and figuring them out. I finished the first chapter for the time being. I'll have some tea ordered, so please let me hear your opinion on it. No matter if it's reading or writing mystery novels, it just has to be boring if it's just on your own. Sharing your world with somebody. Anything special will surely just grow larger. Oh, there's the flashback to Sayo. I have to remember. Let me just look it up really quick. I can't remember what Okay, so Sayo apparently it's Yasu was the other name I was thinking of. It's Sayo Yasuda. So I was kind of right about both, I guess. So I'll just refer as like Yasu. Toya, I'm all right. More importantly, I'm looking forward to reading the next chapter. We spent our days together with discourses on mystery novels as well as talking about new plots and ideas. Before I knew it, I was lured in by her and stepped into the world of drawing up my own mystery novels. It seemed like my former self had possessed quite a talent for mystery novels, using intimate knowledge of famous mysteries and turning them on their heads by thinking about new ideas to insert. She helped me cultivate that writing skills she'd picked up on. During these days of creating mystery novels as a team to amuse just the two of us, nothing really changed for the better, yet we were content. This was my new life as Hachijo Toya. You really do live a long time, do you? Wonder how old Burn the cat is. Could it be that you're actually a ghost cat? Toya, the manuscript is finished. Look at her, she's so cute. She looks like a cat herself, she looks so proud. So what do we do now? I used your plot, but I made the tragic love story of Sujiko even sadder at the end. I think that's great. With the last farewell being really sad, it didn't just work out as a detective novel, but as a general piece of fiction, too. It was only because I had your great plot as a basis. Compared to this work, all my previous attempts are nothing more than scrap paper. In the visual novel, she looks so much more, I don't know, animated. She looks younger somehow. Like, she looks young in the visual novel, but she just looks, I don't know, a little bit more childlike. I feel so enthralled while writing, being the first in the world to actually read it. It's the first time I've ever felt this way. I only put some ideas out there. No stories finished with just ideas. You were the one who made it possible for them to bloom into a proper story like this. This is a masterpiece that you don't need to hide from anybody. You are right. This is the greatest piece of fiction I've ever created, so let's celebrate. Ikiko-san, I have a proposition to make. May I? Let's hear it. When it comes to your ideas, I will always lend you an ear, unless I'm in the shower or on the toilet. Why don't we try our hand in our joint piece of work? I have never read any piece of fiction better than this. I bet a lot of people will come up dying to read this. But I also thought so back then, and then in the end. I firmly believe in your talent, Ikako-san. How about you? I also firmly believe in your talent. Then it's decided. To your major debut, Ikako-san. To your major debut, Toya. And then there's everybody just having a good time, and then I believe he has like a really bad flashback here from what I remember. Of course, I totally forgot, Toya. I also thought about opening this once we finish the manuscript. Ikiko-san, I can't drink anymore. I'm tired. It's all right, Toya. This is something which might be way better than alcohol. Yeah, it doesn't look like alcohol, but I can't. I'm so tired. Rain. Always, yeah, rain, so he's gonna have the bad headaches. Ikiko-san, please turn the lights on. It's not good for your eyes to sit at the computer in the dark. Oh, did I wake you? No, the sound of rain, and the wind seems strong. The rain gutter will clutter with leaves again. Rain, just like on the day I was picked up by Ikiko. You were quite enthusiastic about the computer lately. Was there some interesting article on the internet? Oh, this is when she talked about like the whole thing with the Rokonjima incident. Well, I think it's complete hogwash. It is quite fascinating. Toya, what do you think are motives for people to kill one another? Is that material for a new novel? Social standing, honor, revenge, money, things like that, right? In the world of mysteries, yes. But in reality, overwhelming numbers are unplanned, sudden murders resulting out of a trivial quarrel or some strange tension just in that moment. From a logical perspective, men do it for social standing or fame, or even to make a lover forever theirs. Women do it to escape from somebody who keeps them bound. And most indiscriminate killers do it out of a suicide wish. They recreate themselves in a way they are worthy of death and commit murder to give themselves determination to end it. Are you also thinking about are you thinking about creating a story where motive is the main theme next? It is really fascinating. The Rokonjima incident we'd been talking about. Oh, she looks so creepy there. Rokonjima? A few days ago we talked about the Rokonjima mystery, right? The incident where culprit, motive, even the circumstances of the day of the crime remain a mystery. And that is blooming right now on the net. Just goes to show the internet, nothing good comes from the internet. The theories and thoughts about it, and among those, there are forgeries. They're really fascinating. Forgeries are written on the hypothesis that there exists more than one message bottle signed by Ushura Miyamariya that drifted ashore on the neighboring island. Here, look at this. A few days ago, I picked one up at the ocean near the road where I picked you up, and I thought we would read it together. But more than a forgery, its contents were like a message bottle from "And Then There Were None." But the content was really interesting. Maybe by some chance, an author of really elaborate forgeries lives just close by. Or this might even be the real deal, a message bottled by the culprits. Alright, so let's read what it says here. Rokonjima explosion accident occurred on October 5th, 1986 at 24 o'clock in Rokonjima within the Izu archipelago? I think that's how you say that word. It's rumored that seeking after the great fortune and hidden gold of family head Ushiromio Kinzo, a fight where blood was avenged by blood broke out among the family members, but the truth is still within a cat box. Going by the scale of the explosion, it is hard to think of it as a mere accident, and the likelihood of a planned mass murder is high. Survivor Ushiromia Eva keeps her silence following her death. She escaped harm by being absent on said dates. So even Angie was mentioned. Angie will inherit her whole fortune. Took over raising Angie immediately after the incident. Makes one consider it being part of a performance. Ushiromia Angie. Who are these voices calling out my name? I don't know them. Toya? That is not my name. Oh gosh, and there's the flat. Oh, that is a cool panel. That is very creepy. Because, like, obviously, they had to keep a lot of stuff hidden in the visual novel, and they couldn't show stuff like this. But in the manga, you can see this stuff more. Help me, Ikiko. Toya, Confession of the Golden Witch. Alright, so that is the end of chapter 24b. So now we're going to move on to chapter 25. Alright, it's chapter 25, The Cage of Obligations. Okay, so this is... trying to see... Okay, so this is when the Golden Land is disappearing? Oh. Oh, this is with Angie? Okay, so this is the baby being born, little baby Angie, I'm assuming. Could be Badler, maybe. Except no, it can't be, because Kyrie wouldn't be quite so happy, and also she didn't know about Badler being her kid, so yes, that has to be Angie. Oh, she's little baby Angie with Kinzo. I can't quite tell with that face if that's... We know that Kinzo was actually not as bad as we thought, and he had a lot of love for her. Oh. Well, this is typical of fathers, but that's absolutely no present for a little girl. It looks a little like a talisman. Okay, so they talked about how, like, he was definitely eccentric, and he may have, like, talked about things... Oh, she kicks it away. Yeah, like, talked about things or given her things that might not be appropriate for a child, but, like, that was his way of showing love. Alright, it scared you, didn't it? I'm sorry, Natsui-Nissan. This must be hell for your migraine. It's alright. It reminds me of Jessica when she was little. Must be nice to have a girl. She's a real angel even though she cries a lot. Mama, flowers. Maria, where did you get these? I'm sorry, Nissan. Oh, she got them out of the garden. I'm sorry, Nissan. Don't worry. Those roses will grow back. Here. Aw, a flower for Angie, too. She's so cute. Mama, you look like a princess. Oh my gosh, is that like little Badler? And, like, is that a picture of him with Angie? And that's her little hair ties. Wow, you're so pretty, Angie. That's my little sister. They're all so cute. I am the lady of the Ushiromia house. Oh, Oni-chan, can't you live with us from now on? I want you to stay. I want all of us to be together. Oh, this is... Okay, this was after she threw herself off at the Land of the Books, I think? And then she ended up floating around and they got her back to the Golden Land. Oh, thank God, you finally came to, Angie. I was wondering, like, what part is this at? Everyone? Where am I? In the Golden Land. Beato accidentally found you floating about in the waves of the ocean of nothingness. All because I jumped off the capital of books. You were in horrible shape. It took quite some time until you even remembered this form. Angie, we were all waiting for you to come back, because you kept wishing that you could join us here. You were able to come here. Oh, I see. So, like, they're hugging her and then she's remembering, like, finding out what happens. And then she shoves them away being like, I can't even look at you the same way because I know the truth. Ah, yeah. And then she's regretting it. She's like, I shouldn't have read it. So you learned the one truth. Knowing what her family is capable of. You, that red fragment, it couldn't be. It just floated into my mind that had been torn to shreds. Your shitty confession. I see. For you of all people, too, the goddess of fate must truly hate me. I don't understand anything anymore. What am I supposed to be able to believe? What am I supposed to what am I supposed to despise? Okay, so parents, is that, and then like them looking all like, ooh, we're so evil, and then you've got Yasu, Battler, who be that? Is that Yasu just like losing their mind? What should I do? Yeah, that's a lot to take in, to be like, everyone basically turned on each other. I don't know what to think of you guys. It's like her opinion of them has definitely been altered forever. Angie-chan, if you had seen it, then you should already understand that something for you to hate, you have to hate me. It is my fault. I have taken your family from you. I took your family from you, and a chance of a future from your family. Is this a joke? Do you want to tell me it was a witch again? That nobody has to sin as long as a witch is to blame? I am talking as the human culprit. I was the one who gave rise to the tragedy. Even if the actual outcome was different, I did kill them all. I've taken all their lives in countless fragments. Even with this outcome, I am still at the center of it all. This result was nothing more than me cornering the adults into a situation that led to violence. I mean, yeah, but also, it kind of is also the adults' fault because they took the bait. Due to my circumstances, they all lost their lives. Had I never created that plan, the tragedy would probably not have occurred. I think I would have been able to save them all. Had I really thought the world to be that fleeting, I wonder if they got that shot of Leon to show, like, this is what Leon could have been like, this is what it could have been like if it didn't go the way it did. If I had just not partook that way, if Natsui had, accepted the baby. Had I really thought the world to be that fleeting, I would have been able to die alone. If I were to die, would he cry over me? Okay, I'm trying to see which order to do this in. I'm sure he would cry and cry until his tears dried, and one day, as if nothing had happened, he'd move on with somebody else. No, I don't want anybody else to have him. Everyone must think so. Something so dangerous can only become a seed for anguish. Being the master of that room, I could have destroyed it or thrown it all into the sea. Just by that, nobody would have had to die in the end, right? But I did not. At that time, I didn't see that option. I didn't even try to see it. All because I abandoned every choice and every future. It's ironic. I always considered happiness to be something that God or others bestow upon you. Always the passive one, indulging in sweet delusions. I was running away from reality and living a lie of happiness. I ran and ran and ran. And because I kept running, reality never changed. I chose this place as my final escape. Listen, Angie, if I had lived in this body, I might have experienced untold happiness. Had I searched for the option I was unable to see, had I been able to live in reality, had I at least tried to hold out my hand without fear, I think there would have been a completely different outcome in store for me. One where I may have clutched onto it in that moment where I was able to think living might not be that bad. I guess, yeah, her and Beato kind of have similar things where it's like Angie kind of wants to die, or she's willing to die after learning the truth because that's all she wanted. But if like Angie had just kind of like reached out to somebody and not like been so focused inward in herself, and Beato was the same way, where she was just like, if she just reached out to someone, then maybe things could have turned out differently if she just, not held it all in. You could say the possibilities were endless, but by simply doing nothing, I undid them all. I simply locked the future out. I crushed that possibility, and in my selfishness, I ripped all their futures away with it, and locked them into a dead end. You should just hate me without thinking of forgiving me. You have every right to hate me till the end of your days. I am sorry, Angie, and the art is really good in this. I mean, it's good in all of them, but man. And you too, my one-winged family. Because I think Beato, she did have something sort of like this. She did have this speech, but I feel like it is different, a little different from the visual novel. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, she's grabbing onto her. Okay. Angie, don't be mean to Beato. It's alright, Maria. It's alright. Is she just hitting her, being like, ah. And then you've got Will and Leon just over there being like, we're not part of this. Father? Listen, Beatrice. I can no longer sit idly by and watch you shoulder all of this. All these sins are rooted in the errors I committed. That's true. And he did talk about that, about, like, wanting to atone for his sins. But it's nice to see him speak up. If he hadn't led her on this path by, like, all the fucked up stuff he did, none of that stuff would have happened. There was a lot of circumstances. If Kinzo had gone around things differently, if Natsui had gone about things differently, oh, how different it could have been. To request forgiveness from a dead person. My sins have taken root in this family and will never disappear. It was me who forced Beatrice into that thorny destiny. I mean, yeah, when you live a life like that, you learn that kind of truth. Yeah, it would kind of make you go a little crazy. This outcome is the result of my mistakes. Maybe, I shouldn't say crazy. That's not, it would definitely just break your mind, though. Kinzo, you. And I think there is a considerable number of people that agree. That might be so, but if I had been able to call out your mistakes as a friend, at least. Oh, now everybody's like, it's not just Beato, all of us. We could have all done something differently. This might not have had to happen. And I am to blame that Lady Beatrice could not be saved from her cruel destiny. I knew everything, so I should have protected and guided her, even if that had violated my oath as a servant. And I was the one who taught her about magic. I should have intervened as the mother who raised her when she started using it as a tool to make unpleasant things disappear to her. And it's like, this is them apologizing not just to Angie, but to Beatrice as well. You too. Yeah, that's right. There's not even room for excuses. We're sorry for not being the parents you could be proud of, Angie. Yeah, they fucked up too. Stirring the flames, clutching onto the money, threatening one another. Constantly going on like this was the sin that invited this outcome in. We were all supposed to be people Angie could have been proud of. This is just the thing about generational trauma. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it's just like, granted, like, Kinzo's not as terrible as he initially seemed, but the way he raised his kids, and then, like, they just had that mindset, and it just kind of warped everybody. And then definitely, like, generational trauma. You could definitely say that about Yasu. Like, that's a pretty traumatizing thing. But in that regard, we were all too far from it. Could I have gotten along better with you if I had been a better girl? No, I should have accepted you more. Oh, even Rosa and Mario are having their moments. And George, too, if I had just paid a little bit more attention to my girlfriend. I was often scared by her eyes that seemed to tell me something. But I averted my eyes and kept talking only of my dreams. That's right, George was always talking about, like, this is the life that I have planned out for us. But yes, he did ask Yasu, Shannon, about stuff, but I feel like he was just kind of going by his script, and she was just like the good girlfriend he expected to go along with it. If I had just been a stronger man that she could have depended on to ease her mind, I might have been able to save her. And if I had just been a better friend that Shannon could have opened her heart to, because I think it was due to our many mistakes and moments when we just failed to understand that this day ended in a dead end. Through an accumulation of sins, right? It's like kind of a little bit of everybody's fault. Like sediment, it piled up, became muddy, mixed together. Oh, that's creepy. Just like the bodies here. Became muddy, mixed together, and became inescapable. This is why. It's kind of hard because I have to like scroll down. I'm trying to see all the pictures too. I finally understand the tragedy that happened on that day is not one single person's fault. It was all destined through the karma that piled up in this family. If they had made choices that they were unable to see, as Beato said, and pried away all that dirt, and even though that will never come true now. Oh, wait. See, this is why it's hard with these ones here, because I'm like, I can't quite see. Maybe I should zoom out. Yeah, I should probably zoom out a little bit so I can see it better. Okay, so had I made choices that they were unable to see, as Beto said, and pried all that dirt, we might have had a very different future, right? And even though that will never come true now, or maybe exactly because of that, my big brother showed me the dreams overflowing from the cat box. So this is the moment where she finally realized what he was trying to do. It's quite cynical that it took you to come here to notice that. It was because she managed to come here, because there are no ties binding us to the Golden Land. We can all admit our errors and forgive one another. It was all too difficult for us, I suppose. I would have liked to see a future where we could do this while being alive. Angie, it must have been so hard to live through these 12 years. The chain of misfortune that we shouldered is still causing you pain even after 12 years have passed. You said so, right? You lived by entertaining sweet delusions like a ghost, and that you did not need a future where nobody came back for you. Isn't that kind of similar to what I did? See, I think I said something like that, where it's like they do have kind of that little bit of parallel there. That is why we say it. Even if you were to sink in the world of suffering again, we will say it. Live, Angie. So Beato is saying, like, Yasu, Shannon, Sayo, Canon, all is just like, do what I couldn't do. It's like she couldn't deal with the truth and losing Badler and just like learning about their parentage and everything, and kept it to themselves, didn't reach out to anybody, and then just decided, I'm basically like, I'm going to die and take everybody out with me. And I didn't see any other options, but Angie, you have more options. So live, Angie, laugh and love. You should encounter so many things that will move your heart. If there is no happiness in reality, then you should search for one or create it yourself. Live in order to make reality shine. And that was the thing, is that's what Sayo didn't do, was they basically saw like their life was just like, I can't see what else I can do. I'm stuck in this sad life, so I'm just not gonna, I'm not gonna try and like seek out another kind of happiness. I'm just gonna end it. Because the land of the dead you arrive at when turning and running from reality has neither happiness. Oh, that's dark. Ooh, even just like, that's a pretty good shot there. I like it where it just shows like, let me just scroll up here, where it shows, well, like everybody, and then it shows like Beato just surrounded by skeletons, be like, don't be like this, The end, you face the truth head on. So now live and grasp your happiness, Angie. Oh man, that's hold on. Let me just move this over so you guys can see it better. That's a really good shot there. Maybe I should put this over here instead. Oh, okay. Well, it's done anyway. Okay, so that is... All right, so that's chapter 25. So we've got the two other chapters to go through, which is 37 and 38. Okay, so this is chapter 37, When the Seagulls Cry. And apparently this is the one that really, like, provides a lot of extra context and clarifications on stuff. So I think this is the one that I'm most excited to read. So 1986, October 5th, 1:05 a.m. So this was after, 12 o'clock, right? Every kind of pretend get along has vanished from this island. Time to have some fun. What about Badler? Is he going to touch the billion? Only if he wants to die. I'm soft regarding my own children, but going so far as being nice to Asuma's child, that's asking too much. Okay, so this was like Kyrie and Rudolph talking about, I guess, like their plans of what was going on, like what they were planning to do. And it's just crazy to think like Kyrie had no idea that that he's actually her child, not Asumu's. Badler-kun doesn't go along with it. I'm sorry, but that's it then. Okay, so I feel so dumb. I talked about, like, at the end where I thought that it was just, like, a hallucination or something that Badler had when he was on the boat with Beato, aka Sayo. And yeah, it didn't make any sense, because I'm like, yeah, now that the more I think about it, I was just like, well, stuff like when he was talking to someone going down into, like, the... like where the submarine was. I believe that like Sayo would know about that, so I'm guessing that she like took Badler down there to be able to like have him be able to get out. So there you are, you see there, I'm guessing like, yeah, she didn't die because she got shot, right? Yeah, she got shot, but didn't actually die. Okay, yeah, so this is all the stuff going on. This is Natsui and Natsui and Ava fighting and all that craziness that happened. I'm alive. Why? I was definitely shot. My shoulder? The collarbone? Is it broken? Did Kyrie end up with a gun loaded with blank side mixed in? Oh? Ah. The damage is on my collarbone, and quite a big one, where I bit open my lip. In the chamber full of corpses. I am alive. Yeah, so there you go. Got Natsui, got Ava, Rosa, is that Hideyoshi? Yeah, Hideyoshi be Kraus? Yeah, because it was Rudolph and Kyrie were the ones who were alive. And then you can see there, Ava is the only one who doesn't have blood coming out of her, so she's still alive. If Balderkun doesn't go along with it, I'm sorry, but that's it then. Oh, so she was... Oh, okay, I see. So Beato saved Badler, because we never actually found out... Obviously, we know Badler made it out alive, but I was wondering with that. It was like... There was the implication that, like, Kyrie was going to go after Badler and kill him. So Beato must have found Badler and, like, gotten him out of there, and that's how he made it out. It's likely over... it's likely all over already anyway. I lost when the epitaph was solved. Now they'll murder any one of us who stands between them and the gold, even those who are so precious to me. I won't let them die. I won't let them die. I won't let them die. The gambling is over. Nobody has to die anymore. Live. And there's George. George, son? And this is so sad because it's like, yeah, I mean... And then where's Jessica? Because she's going to find, you know, she was in love with both George and Jessica. I swear that I will continue loving you for all my life. Have to go. Hurry. They won't show any mercy. Badler's son and the others might already... Oh, yeah, there's 3 people. Yeah, Beato loves 3 people. Jessica, Badler, well, and Maria as well. Oh, and then finding little Maria... Like, this is, we actually get to see the, like, we did see the aftermath of George. We saw George die, but it's just, like, the other ones were kind of, not really a lot of attention was put on them dying. So it's like, she's like, because she said the ones precious to her are, let me just scroll up here. Yeah, Badler, Maria, Jessica, and George. So the only one she was able to save was Badler. Oh, and there's Jess. Where are you, Badler, son? Did we pass by each other somewhere? Not much of a reaction for them, huh? Just sees Jess. I was like, as canon, I know as canon, Beato loved Jessica, and then Maria just as, you know, her fellow witch, her friend. Might you already be Badler, son? Okay. So obviously struggling here. I hate to say it, but it's like with the Ava thing, and with Beato. If you're gonna kill someone, double tap. Like, make sure that you. Oh, there's Natsui. Wait, I thought Natsui was. Oh, was this him just finding them dead? Because I was just like, okay, he made it to the mansion and saw what happened. Badler's son. And then realizing that Kyrie is coming for him. So this is okay. So I like this. This is the chapter where I'm like, we get to see how this happened. And then there's Ava. Oh, what's that thing there that she picked up? Is that something of... So does Ava know that Beato's still alive? Wait, let me go. I said let go. What is going on? What are you even? Sorry, Goto-san. Can you tell me where the chapel... Oh, poor Badler. Yeah, because we didn't get to see Badler's reaction to all this. This is definitely good for this chapter, like, from his point of view, finding all of his family dead. Like, we missed all this. Dad, everyone, Goto-san has been... I have to let everyone know Maria's in danger. Shit. They're all dead. They've all been murdered. A murderer snuck onto the island. We must call the police. Are you that... Oh, and then for Beato to be like, she's trying to help him, and then he thinks that she's the murderer. Are you that Beatrice from that letter? Did you do that? Did you do that to them and me? You want to kill me too? So this is maybe like deep in his mind with like Beatrice, when like the whole thing about writing the different stories and stuff and like things he remembered, where like he was battling Beatrice. She was like a villain because he blames her for the murder. He's like, it's just so in denial. Like, if my family didn't kill each other, you must have done it. No, Badler-san, I want to rescue you. You know my name? Rescue. Wait, that voice. Shannon-chan. Why would you dress up as the witch? No, your shoulder. You've been attacked by the culprit too. Did you see who it was, Shannon-chan? Who? What kind of monster killed everyone? I'm gonna kill that bastard. You can't. Enough bloodshed in this family. In this family? Oh, there's the moment. You mean it was all that damn geezer's doing? No, please, Badler-san, stop thinking. Any other corpse I haven't seen would be... He's just like really trying to cope with this. It can't be. She wouldn't do such a thing. Why did this happen among family? It's just stupid. So there he goes. He's thinking that it's Ava who's behind it all. Just like Angie did. And just like everybody else did. We must call the police. We mustn't go back. We'll be killed. We can't call the police. No boat could come in this storm, and we can't leave either. We can only hide ourselves right here. Please don't go away. Don't leave me alone, Badler-san. Oh, it's just like, don't leave me again. All this partially kind of happened because Badler left. If we follow the underground tunnels to the other side of the island, there will be a boat. Because, like, Ava knew about, you know, the gold room, but didn't know about this place, about where the submarine was. And I was just like, it didn't even occur to me when I was reading the visual novel. I'm like, yeah, Badler obviously would have had to been taken down there with someone who, you know, he was chatting with. I can't believe I didn't think about the fact that, like, I was so in my mind that, like, oh no, didn't Beatrice die? Got shot in the room first, like was the first one to die, so it couldn't have been. So it was just a hallucination or something. Or I thought like maybe he just followed Ava down into the underground and then like just kind of got lost and he ended up finding it himself. I feel so dumb in retrospect. Okay, if we follow the underground tunnel to the other side, there will be a boat. If we wait there till the storm passes, we could escape. Can't we do anything to capture the culprit before escaping? That's no good, I think. Our opponents have guns and no longer any qualms about killing people. Unarmed, we are easy prey. And this is just like a flashback to, it's crazy, it's like Beatrice here and then her mother went through the same or similar thing where it's like all of the soldiers were killing each other down here. So it's just like, it's just a bad place. Or I guess in this case, it ended up saving them because nobody else knows this place exists. No, on this island, there are now only us two and the culprit left. How did it come to this? Shannon-chan, what and how far do you know things? Why this outfit? Let's walk a little further, Badler-san. They might find us here. I hope you will humble me and believe what I am to tell you, Badler-sama. You may despise me and shower me with words of abuse, but I beg of you to listen. I am the human who is Shannon, yet also Canon, Yasuda Sayo. Yasuda Sayo, as well as the third golden witch Beatrice. I have eagerly waited for your return. Shannon-chan? I finally laid out there what was so hard to say. He would never ask me, even though I wanted him to solve it. Why am I suddenly so open about it? Because all gamble is at an end? If that was true, I could have just stayed silent. I don't get it. So you were planning on killing us like you announced? Yes, but your parents among them, ended up solving the epitaph and a dispute about the gold broke out. I foresaw a quarrel like this, yet I did not stop it. No, even if it didn't end like this, I would have killed them anyway, if you hadn't come back. Oh, that's just an excuse. I'm the one who should be hated. So many things went just like my plans. That is why this tragedy is my sin. I was even planning on killing you. It would be fitting if you were to kill me. Here now. Planning on killing me, right? I don't quite get it, but you were in a lot of pain, right? Oh, Badler's such a good guy. Like, just hearing her say, like, I would have killed you, and he's just like, there is a reason for this. Let's go into therapist mode. Like, let's find out, like, why do you feel this way? I wonder if I had solved the epitaph, if I could have saved you. Like, he's just thinking, like, how he could have, he's taking it. He's just such a good guy. He's not angry with her. He's not resentful about, like, her setting all of this in motion. And it's just this moment here where he, like, look at that face, where it's just that moment of just, like, I did all of this for nothing. Like, she was so angry with him. She set all this up. And if she just talked with him, and she just made assumptions and stuff, if she just talked with him, then maybe none of this would have happened. I don't think you have sinned. If the plan fails, it's just an attempt or something like that. And aren't you trying to rescue me right now? From the very beginning, I've managed to calm down a bit because you're here too. Thank you, Shannon-chan. I wanted to open up to you and beg for forgiveness. I just wanted to feel at ease. Hey, it's all right. Your shoulder hurts, right? Let's rest. Let's see. I still got the candy I got from Maria. And they're just smiling like, here's the candy from my dead cousin. Here, if we're gonna have, let's just have a good time. And I mean, it's very forgiving, but still, I don't know, it feels like they're moving on a little bit quickly from all the tragedy. There were so many mysteries I wanted to talk with you about, so many things I wanted to ask with you about. To have that day come to me at last. And then there's all the dead people, you know. Oh, you're up. You were so tired you slept like you were dead. Is this like the being like, oh shit, the explosion? Badler-san, do you know the time? Oh, it's just past 11 p.m. We did talk quite a lot. It's not even 1 hour left of the explosion. Badler-san, I can't believe it. Was it really just last night we were having fun in the cousin's room? They're really gone. Maria, Jessica, even Aniki. It's really true, right? It's not a nightmare. Badler-san, to see such atrocities with your own eyes, anybody's heart would break. He simply overdid it, just like me last night. What is this loss of spirit, Badler? Oh, look at that face. Let me just move over my face so you can see that face. That's that cocky Beato we know. Now she's going into... I love it, she's going into Beatrice mode. Shannon-chan? I am not Shannon, for I am the golden witch Beatrice. Look at her, she's like, oh god, this is so embarrassing. The house of Ushiramiya is the clan of the one-winged eagle. Do you think it suits an eagle to cower on the ground like this? Stand. What? You? What's this? Show it to me, your spirit. Actually, she tells him to call her Omai? Ome? And she will call him Sonata instead of the usual Anta. It just doesn't translate since it's all you. Okay. And he's just laughing at her. Oh, thank you. To be cheered up by a witch. Let me just put it back over this way. There we go. Maybe I should make it a little bit smaller. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Alright, we have to hurry. Come, Badler, I will lead you through the underground of my island. What? Okay. We have to hurry. It will start to explode any minute now. We have to run. You're running too fast. What about your shoulder? The island will blow up at midnight. The explosion will cover a radius of 1 kilometer. There's been a time bomb like that set up on this island. According to the calculations, we'll be able to escape it at the far edge of the island. What? Then what about everybody's bodies? Any evidence and everything else will be blown away. All the truth will be locked up in that witch's cat box. Shit. Wait, are you okay with this? If everything is blown away, that includes all the bodies, even Aniki's. Ugh. Why didn't you tell me this sooner? We might have been able to deactivate the bomb. A dead husk without a soul is only a cage of flesh, nothing but an object. What? What would you risk by going back? I told you. I want to rescue you. Oh, oh, that's cute. So cute. Badler, it's because you asshole run too much. Is this the right way? Yes, straight ahead. And shut up now. I'd laugh my ass off if you bite your tongue and die before the explosion. It feels weird to be like, oh, so cute, and then it shows all of these dead bodies here. I gotta say, Badler accepted that pretty well. And there's the explosion. And just seeing them go away as butterflies. 1986, October 6th. This is the ruins of a former submarine base. This is the place where you and me met in our past lives 2 generations ago. It's kind of romantic if you say it like that. It's pretty crazy at the end how much like Kinzo, old Badler, looked. I guess Kinzo just aged really quickly because like that was him when he was young. He looked like Badler did in like his, what, 60s? Take this, it's heavy. Wow, it's a gold ingot. So people said that, so she fell into the ocean. I guess that was her. I don't know why, but I guess she went in with the gold ingots, I think, and then she just drowned. I hid one away in case something like this would happen. Have you ever steered a motorboat? Why should I have? It's easy, I'll show you. If you steer out there and go around the edge of the island, you can see Nijima, then you only have to head for the beach. You're not coming? Okay, so this was pretty similar to like what happens in the visual novel. I cannot go, for I am the master of the Golden Land, so I cannot go. And what will you do here? What would I do there? Living. I cannot live. I have already committed countless sins in countless worlds called fragments. The number of lives I've taken, the number of sins, it's too high. And there's the difference between her and Angie, where it's like Beato told Angie to live, but she's like, but I can't. This was all just attempts. You haven't committed one sin in our world. You know that isn't true. This outcome is something that I brought about. Go forth, and so long as my mood is still good. Before long I will shroud this island in a storm again. He's like, I don't buy it. Well then, I will have to take you home as a souvenir from the Golden Land. Oh my gosh, get yourself a battler. Like, he just elevates, like, he just raises the bar for, like, boyfriend material. My goodness. Ba, let me go. This is dangerous. Stop yapping already and listen to me, Beatrice. I will run away with you. Like, oh, swoon. My goodness. If you've sinned, then I have done so too for leading you there. So I ask you to let me share the burden of that cross. I will help you shoulder that cross all my life. Leave the Golden Land. It's so sad because it's like, he's saying, like, I forgive you, so let's live together, you know, like, live, and then something happens where she doesn't. I don't know what the context is. We will find out soon, but she ends up not making it. Will I really be able to live, though? Sure, you might not have a magical butler, but there are lots of things that don't exist on Rokenjima. Oh, and this would be like her first time going out into, like, the real world, you know? She's just been stuck on that island her whole life. First, let's get you your shoulder fixed at a hospital, then I'll show you the world. Your world is too bright for a sinful witch like myself. Just try and live. If you want to make up for hundreds of sins, then do so by living, which is exactly what they told Angie to do. Live life to the fullest of your potential. This is the best way to atone for your sins. Is that the only way? Yes, you'll definitely atone for everything. I believe that. Badler, don't look at me all teary-eyed. I'll get red. See, this is cute, because, like, in the, you know, in the visual novel, we only got to see it from one person's point of view, but here we get to see it from both of theirs. It's so sweet. Would you at least close your eyes? Why should I close my eyes? You're too close. I love it. He was so suave before, now he's just all nervous. What a foolish man. You deserve a curse for lifting the witch from her golden lands. I told you to close your eyes. It's embarrassing for me. Aww. Oh, it's so nice to actually, like, we didn't get to actually see the kiss. I was hoping there was going to be, like, a CG of it, but this will have to do. Okay, it slaps him. Don't look at my face. It's not like anything would happen, though. Have you no shame? Don't. Because I want to kiss you one more time. Oh my gosh, why are they so adorable? It's just so sad that it just, knowing it's not going to work out for them. This is like what could have been. What could have been if just, like, without everybody dying, if everybody just been honest with each other and talked to each other. It's like Higurashi, you know, it's that whole thing about, like, you just keep things to yourself, you don't reach out to people, and things don't go very well. Sorry, Badler, am I not an inhuman devilish witch? That you are. You're the worst and cruelest. That is why I won't atone for my sins. Instead, I will rot about laughing about hundreds of deaths. I'm that kind of witch. You truly are, but that is really like you. And she's gone. Beato? So, okay, yep, there it is. So she... Oh, so sad. I thought about wanting to die for so long. If we left the island, then would you learn about my cursed body? Oh, that's right. There was that issue. He still doesn't know about that. I mean, I don't know if she told him about the situation with, you know, with her body, but it did say about how, like, I am Shannon, but I am also Canon, and I am also Beatrice. I'm scared of that, so even though you forgive me, I cannot forgive myself. That time together was like a dream. It was more bliss than I could bear. Oh, and he tries to save her. I told you already I'm the worst kind of witch, so I will not atone for my sins. Living won't make up for them. Foolish Badler, even though you were so lucky to escape the island, you're willing to throw it away? And then Badler's mind, he lost everybody else, you know, like she's all he has, and losing her too. The thought makes me happy, but the worlds we have to go to are of a different kind. I, who cannot live in the world of truth, will return to illusion, and you should return to your own world, the world of humans. Farewell, Badler, and thank you. Ugh, so romantic. You think I'd let you escape? You are my golden witch alone. Stupid babbler. If you long for the underworld, I shall sink there with you. If you long for the world of oblivion, I shall disappear with you. But until that last instant when we vanish, you will be mine alone. It's just so beautiful. Like, oh, the art is so good. The two of them became one and sank towards the underworld, and in the world of only darkness, where nothing can be seen, they became a golden rose and shone, and softly it finally made its way into the top of the tiny box, resting in a world of innocent, pure white sand. That is the cat box of Beatrice, resting peacefully at the bottom of a calm sea. This is the tale of the deep, deep bottom of the ocean, of how a gently glowing golden rose is sleeping in the world of the darkness of the abyss. So very modest tale. This is the Golden Land? No, this is the world I desired. The world of the cat box. Okay, so this is different. I ended up dragging you here with me, you who I wanted to live so much. You are so kind that you would jump in right after, if somebody jumped right before your eyes. I should have anticipated this. I should have known in advance, and yet, where am I? What am I? Why am I here? And who are you? You don't remember anything? Anything at all? Is this our conclusion? Just continuing to sway around in the cat box along with countless fragments without arriving anywhere in this purgatory? No, I am the endless witch Beatrice. I will keep waiting for you on the summit of this very Mount Purgatorio. There's the, what is the word I'm thinking of? What is the bottle? So let us begin here where we could not bring it to an end in our lifetime. A battle about whether it was a witch or a human. I will wait forever until you rip the me that is a witch apart and find the me that is our promise. All of this, the manuscripts, the stories. This will surely be an eternal game and thus eternal torture. Okay, so this is like the setup of the game boards. Because he couldn't remember anything. For you, for me, let us hope you shall weave a fitting conclusion for us both. Let us go towards our golden lands. Oh, that was cool. I like that they kind of tied it back to like how she started all the game boards about like, let's figure these things out because you don't remember anything. All right, and the final chapter I'm going to be reading today is Chapter 8, The Golden Land. So from what I can see here, and it's colored, which is cool, is the aftermath with Angie in her later years. So I was saying about like, oh, are we going to get to see Angie older? And we didn't in the visual novel, so I actually get to see what she looks like in the manga, which is cool. All right, next I would like to move your attention to the category of novels. Oh, she definitely looks like Angie, just older, still pretty. The winning work should be well known to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, as a series that caused a worldwide movement, continuing the unbroken advance of the fantasy adventure novel Sakutaro's Great Adventure. Congratulations, Kotobuki Yukari Sensei. Oh, it looks so pretty. Look at that. Okay. In the series Sakutaro's Great Adventure, we follow the journey of a cowardly vegetarian lion named Sakutaro. I almost read it as Leon because I'm so used to it when it comes to Umineko. Named Sakutaro as he meets companions and grows while working hard in his search for that one treasured fragment in a thrilling adventure. You might be aware of the fact that the key phrase, "I'll become the king of the beast," has been nominated for Award of the Word of the Year. Along with the start of its foreign language release last year, it experienced as a breakthrough as a novel read by children and adults alike and received high praise, which led to today's award. I'm very grateful and consider this award a high honor. It seems the 8th entry in the series, Sakutaro Towards the Island of the Witch, has caused a huge public reaction. It was reported that Kotobuki-sensei was diagnosed with an early stage of cancer while writing, but continued hitting the keyboard even while battling her illness. I don't know if they said specifically in the visual novel she had cancer. It did say that she was sick. What is the source of this level of enthusiasm? I am not finished passing on what I've yet to communicate. With every one new work that I write, if it manages to make just one more child understand the method of finding happiness, I want to use up my life to write that one work or even one page more. I am not yet done telling the important lessons I was gifted with. So yes, this is the aftermath of obviously Angie applying what they taught her and what Badler taught her. We know this, but it's still sweet to see. Kotobuki-sensei, I honestly want to congratulate you about the award. The film adaptation also got only the best reviews and has the power to even succeed Hari the Potato. Thank you, it is an honor. Oh no, please remain seated. I hear you're still in the recovery phase. I'm sorry, my name is Maru Maru, head of the editing department of Maru Maru Publishing. I actually have something very sudden to tell you. Are you familiar with Hachijo Toya-sensei, the mystery author? Hachijo Toya. You are familiar with Hachijo-sensei. Might you even have met at some point? Yes, a long time ago, just once. Okay, so there's the... Because they talked about how she basically just burst in and, like, demanded a, you know, a meeting with Hachijo, and it didn't go very well. You see, Hachijo Toya-sensei actually inquired about you. There's a high interest in a private meeting. With me? Yes, not a phone conversation, but an actual private meeting face-to-face. You'd be so kind as to agree, I will take it upon myself to arrange the setting. Of course, I assure you this is not a work-related conversation. I have not encountered Hachijo Toya after that one incident. At the time, I loathed her, who was the leading force behind the Rokenjima mystery as a forgery author. But I am actually quite grateful to her. Due to that opening of the Ushirimiya Ava's diary event that she headed and then cancelled, she returned an amount of critical thinking to toying around with a tragedy, and the Rokenjima mystery drew to an end. As if it had been the push I needed, I stepped into a new life after that. It had been all reconciled now, but at the time, I was involved in great trouble with the Sumadera family. To avoid them, I changed my name and moved into a new environment. Due to this, there are only a handful of people who know of my whereabouts, and of course, that Kotobuki Yukari is Angie. It wouldn't be weird for her to notice my true identity, because I can't remember exactly why. Somebody explained in the comments about, I was saying, like, how is her alter ego, like, that was a clue to her name being Angie, but I can't remember exactly how that is. But why would she ask me for a meeting now of all times? I agree. So, could I ask you to arrange a meeting in a quiet cafe next week on Sunday? Yes, I'm sure Hachijo-sensei would be more than happy, but I would like to keep this meeting between just Hachijo-sensei and myself. Actually, there is a secret I have to tell you. What? To tell you the truth, we present Hachijo-sensei as a single female writer to the public, but actually, she's working with one more male author, and they both asked to meet with you. I always had my doubts. Why did Hachijo Toya arrive at a truth that was so exceedingly close to something that only I had seen? Why was a person with no ties to the Ushirimiya family able to write inside information with so much accuracy? This is following it pretty closely so far with the visual novel. Could it be that when Sakutaro's great adventure was showered with so much praise this year, the name Kotobuki Yukari reached his ears? A person who knows that I had played with a stuffed lion called Sakutaro together with Mario Oni-chan. He who had detective novels stacked in his room would have the skill to solve that mystery. People who fit this description are so very limited. No, I can only think of him alone. And bum bum bum, there they are with Hachijo looking exactly the same, pretty much. Are you Kotobuki Yukari sensei? Yes, I am Kotobuki Yukari. It has been quite a while. Last we met, I went by the name Hachijo Toya. I am Hachijo Ikuko. I am mostly in charge of the writing. This is Toya. He is mostly in charge of the drafts. Hachijo-sensei, you've not changed the slightest since we last met. Witches do not age. She just has a really good skincare routine. Well, I'm sorry to pry, but are you two married? We are not married, but we have been together for a long time. Quite true. Thinking about it, it has been quite some time. I'm glad. At least he's not been lonely all this time. There was no, like... She kind of had, like, a thing where she... You know, where she saw him, but no, like, big thing in her head being like, oh my god, that's Badler. Well then, shall I speak, or will you take that part, Toya? I'll speak for myself. I have not asked for the impossible today for nothing. I came here convinced you might be the person I believe you to be. Her name is Ushirimiya Angie. By your works and your name, I'm certain you are the Ushirimiya Angie, without a doubt. Yes, though it has been some time since I abandoned going by that name. My real name is Ushirimiya Angie. Why am I being so distant? Aren't we... We both grew up, didn't we? Toya-sensei. Aww. That's a different picture than, because the picture they showed in the visual novel was the whole family together, but that's even cuter. God, why are they so precious together? Oni-chan, your real name is Ushirimiya Badler-san, right? That is correct. You survived. I'm sorry to behave so inappropriately. You don't have to apologize. You've spent decades all alone believing in the return of your family. Thank you for coming back alive, Badler Oni-chan. Aw. On that day, we fled through the underground tunnels, those that connect to Koidorian. I was told they led to a hidden mansion on the other side of the island, but we did not end up at Koidorian, but in the direction of a submarine harbor and avoided the explosion. From there, I escaped using your motorboat, but while underway, I assume I must have ended up capsizing. Assume? I apologize. Toya has suffered from memory impairments, and his recollections of the events before and after falling into the ocean is hazy. In other words, for a while, he'd even forgotten he was Ushirimiya Badler in the first place. After the events, he seemed to have drifted ashore somewhere and was then involved in a car accident while drifting around. I picked him up from when I when I found him collapsed on the road. She's like, it wasn't me. I totally didn't hit him. Now that I think about that, it's kind of hilarious to think about, like, if she's a witch, maybe that's the reason why there was no mark on the car, but that makes more sense if she was the one who hit him, and that's why she kept everything secret, being like, hiring a doctor to come and see him, not bringing him to the hospital, be like, we're just gonna keep this on the down low. Had Ikako-san noticed me just a moment later, I might never have been able to open my eyes again. I still think you doubted me quite a while if I hadn't been the one who'd hit you. Come on, I apologized for that. This is a summary I can agree with. My brother suffered from memory loss either when he fell into the ocean or due to the traffic accident. As time passed, his memory returned, and based on his memory, Hachito Toya began publishing forgeries under the name of Ito Kukuro. Kotobuki-sensei, when we met that time before, I had already long found out about his real name. And this is why I believed I should make the two of you meet face to face. It's true. At the time, you should have already remembered me as well. Why didn't you meet with me back then? If you knew that I was your little sister, why? I refused to do so. I refused because I did not want to meet you. And then this is like when she's, understandably upset. Why? You should have known your little sister was living all alone while being crushed by loneliness. Why then? Why? I regret doing so now. Regret? Have you even once considered my feelings in this? What emotions I had to go through during those many decades? I deeply regret doing those horrible things to you. That is why I kept searching for you ever since. For your sake and mine, we should have met so much earlier. And why? Kotobuki-sensei, as I've said before, he suffers from brain impairment. No, from brain damage. It's the after effects of the accident. But his memory came back, didn't it? The memory returned, but the after effects of the damage did not heal. I possessed the memory of Ushirimiya Badler, but I have a brain disease that makes me unable to think of it as my own. Unable to think of it as your own. Yes, my memory of the events before and after my escape from the island are still hazy. But apart from that, almost everything has come back to me. For example, the pink hair accessories you treasured so much. I remembered I got them from the corner of the amusement park. Yes, I treasure them to this day. There's more. The fact you hated seaweed and how troubled your mother was over she's so cute. I tried to trick her by shoveling it all onto my plate. But if you remember so much, how can you not accept it as your own? Oh, little baby Angie is so cute. This is the extent of the damage to my brain. I went to so many hospitals, but there's nothing that can be done. You will not be able to understand this, but the feeling an unknown man's memory one day suddenly flooding your head is incredibly terrifying. They were harsh and horrifying days. It was if my head was to be eroded from the inside by this man I didn't know. Oh, that's creepy. That visual of like his shadow just like some sort of virus or like a parasite or something. I was afraid if I were going to sleep today, I would never wake again. And from the next day onwards, another man would be living his life using my body. That fear kept tormenting me. He tried to convince himself that they were his real memories many times. He told himself he was Ushirimiya Badler over and over. But it was all useless. I am Hachito Toya. No matter how many memories of Ushirimiya Badlers gush forth from my head, they remain a stranger's memories. I was incapable to accept Ushirimiya Badler into myself. He stuck between being himself and being his other self. So one day, like a spastic fit, and that's when he tried to do something bad. Luckily, he got away with his life, but due to the after effects, he will have to spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair. That is, I can't. Yet he did put up a fight. More than having Ushirmiya Battler within himself, he saw it as his duty to meet with you, his little sister, and fought on the rift between his two selves. This is the very reason why he reacted to the hints towards you changing your name by meeting you here today. But even then, to be honest, I did not get a second of sleep last night. I'm so afraid of meeting you. If maybe by meeting you I'd end up dying. I was so terribly afraid of that. Yet, here I am talking to you like any person would. And this is like his moment of being like, I should have done this so long ago. Just another thing of like regrets, right? About if he could have done things differently, knowing what the outcome would be. That is why I regret it so. If I had met with you even sooner, you and also the Ushirmiya Battler within me, they might have gone without suffering for all these years and months. That's inexcusable. Oh, are you so sad? Oh. So, alas, Ushirmiya Battler really did die on that day. And that's the thing, the difference between, like, the visual novel is just, like, the voice acting, I remember, was so good at that moment where he was just, like, crying and apologizing. But, like, to actually see it is just, hits different. Was that the reason why Bernkastel kept repeating the red truth that my brother had died over and over? Because I wish for your happiness together with all the others. At the time when the Rokujima mystery was getting popular on the internet, I picked up a single message bottle, and Toya regained the memory he had lost. Going by his testimony, I was convinced the message was the real deal sent by the mastermind. It wasn't me, it wasn't my fault. After reading it, Toya was tormented for a long time by the feeling of guilt resulting from the memory of his old self. I don't know if this was in the visual novel. Due to the fault of a person named Battler, a great many people died. If Battler had tried, he might have been able to save them. That is me. It's not me. Did I live my carefree life until now by forgetting a tragedy? That's not me. For Toya, Rokujima were days like hell he couldn't rip his mind away from. So, in that case, as an offering to the witch that he said vanished into the sea, and also with the intent to indict the culprit Ushirmiya Eva, I proposed to him to write a forgery together. This doesn't seem like this was in the aftermath part, like, that I read before. Culprits. At that time, Toya firmly believed that, going by his own memory, Ushirmiya Eva was the culprit of the mass murder. So, like, they wrote that, and then kind of, like, I think they already had their thoughts. Eva could be the culprit anyway, because she was the only one who survived, or they thought was the only one who survived, and then he kind of pushed that narrative even more. And then it caused Angie to believe it, too. And all this time, Eva... I mean, she wasn't completely innocent. She did kill people, but she wasn't the true mastermind. So at a time when we'd released several works, starting with Banquet, Ushirmiya Eva, she herself came asking for us. Hold on. She is the third-person singular form of san. It's rarely used by young adults and shows a certain respect for the person you are talking about. So I love that even, like, granted he knows now how things probably went, but even talking about, like, I thought this, I believe this person killed my family, but I'm going to still show them some respect. Eva Obasan. Like you, she is well understood that Ito Kukuro is Hachijo Toya. But even more clearly, she came to us convinced the author of these forgeries must have been a survivor of the incident. This is new. I don't think this was in. So Eva met up with him. Holy shit. So you really did survive Battler-kun. Oh my gosh. I'm glad I read this so far. I'm like... It's not really giving me much new information, but this is certainly a big reveal. That was when the three of us shared the truth of that day. Okay, so... And that's how she learned the whole truth, and probably how she got Ava's diary, because I wondered about that. I'm like, how did Hachijo end up with Ava's diary? Having Ikuko leading... No, but Ava had it up until her death, right? She was writing on her deathbed, unless, like... Did somebody... Okay... I can't quite remember, but yes, at some point Hachijo did end up with Ava's diary. Having Ikuko listen as an impartial third party, I learned of the tragedy that happened in the hidden VIP room on that day while Battler was not present. This is how they learned, because Battler wasn't there for that. So yeah, how did they know all that information, other than reading the diary? But Hachijo said that she wouldn't read the diary out of respect for Angie, I think. I was feeling unsure about it from the start. Going by Battler's memory, she was not the person to murder her son and husband. Then all doubts melted away. That's tragic for Badler too, because Badler have to, granted, he doesn't really remember himself as being Badler, but to learn that his parents did that. When I arrived at that point and became the leading force behind the Rokujima mystery, I understood what pain I'd inflicted on my little sister. I became convinced I had to lay both the Rokujima mystery and the truth of that day to rest. Okay, I took it upon myself to collect the key to Madame Ava's diary. Okay, this is what I wanted to know. I wanted to know how she came into the possession of the diary. So I had no idea that Hachijo actually met up with Ava. When a time came when you gained the diary, made your way to Hachijo Toya, and with real conviction wanted the truth of that day, I would have you decide on your own whether you wanted to know or not. Please forgive. The rest is as you know it as well. Please forgive me one more thing, Kotobuki-sensei. I caused horrible pain to you by becoming a forgery author after the incident. Even though I'm your little brother, I left my little sister all alone without even meeting her. Please somehow forgive me. Thanks to Ava Obasan and those two there, I was able to step into my future, and Rokujima has been put to rest. But this man kept on, tormenting himself until today. Please raise your head, Toya-sensei. Oh, you've been tormenting yourself quite a lot. For me, it was enough that you came out to meet me today. It's all right, because I was not at all alone. Ah. The Witch of Rokujima was surely also pleased with your forgeries and is at rest now. Thank you, Oni-san, for going through the meeting with me today. Oh, so sweet. Oh, this is the, And then they're gonna go to the Halloween party, right? It's gotten quite late. Thank you for keeping me company for so long after coming so far out. Oh, I should have brought some water with me. Not at all. I'm glad we can meet, Kotobuki-sensei. I'm glad I could hear some stories of the past. Thank you, Toya-sensei. It might be better if we do not meet again. You have to live your life, or you have your own life to live, Toya-sensei. Well, Kotobuki-sensei, can we meet just one more time after this? What? I want to see it with my own eyes. That rumored orphanage you're sponsored. Oh, this is different. Because I believe it was Angie who was the one to request to meet up one more time. But in this case, it's actually Badler who is asking her to see the orphanage. I know. That is why I want to go. I understand. Well then, if this day suits you, please. Okay. It's quite different. Kotobuki-sensei. The Fukin house. Oh, I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Fukian house is splendid, isn't it? It's the first time for me to come here, but I know it well. It's an institution to support children backed by the Ushiramiya family. It ran into financial troubles after the incident on Rokujima was closed, but then you opened it up again. It is nothing big, but it's for the children in this institution. That is way too much. That was not my intent for. Compared to your effort that you spent by financing this place on your own, this is nothing. Children are a treasure and the future, so please make use of it. Okay. Oh, Yukari-sensei, what is it, Yumi-chan? Oh, she's so cute. Did my mama really not come back to life? Today is Halloween, so the dead come back to visit us, don't they? Won't my mama come back to visit me today? I wanted to see her so bad. Well, in a way, the dead are coming back to celebrate the Halloween party with Badler. Yumi-chan, it's sad, but those who died cannot come back. That's not true. So mama won't come back? But since today is Halloween, the distance between the living and dead is really small. Go on, close your eyes. Oh, what was the thing? Try to remember, like when Beatrice would do like her thing. It's like, come, try to remember. Try to remember your mother. How is your mother? What does she say? Be good and eat your tomatoes, right? What else? She's a little worried, so she'll give me a hug. That's right. See, now you feel your mother is close. Your chest is warm, right? Your mother can't come back, but she's always in here, so it is all right. Oh. Okay. Why is it hitting me so hard? Okay. See, they didn't have this interaction really with like this little girl about like my mom isn't coming back. They were just like the kids coming up and stuff, but then it does like expand on a little bit. And I was gonna say, and she's one to speak from experience. Just like you can feel your mother close, she can feel her Yume-chan close as well today. Laugh a lot today. Send your beloved mother lots of happy smiles. Okay. To bring the life back to a sad child's face, you are the real thing. Everyone can use magic to create a future and find a fragment of happiness. This is a witch school that teaches that kind of magic. So it's like the dormitory of the witches in Sakataro's Great Adventure, right? You actually read my work? No, this is embarrassing. Your writing skill is unparalleled. Oh, I guess it runs in the family. I have to bow my head before such a warm and friendly heart. Oh, wait, is that, that looks like the guy, the bodyguard. Is that him? Is he just working with Angie now? Well then, Toya-sensei, here you are. I see we're doing trick-or-treat. Please, tell the children of your wonderful dreams. They are all so happy to have visitors. It's been years since I was last around children. What should I talk to them about? Let's choose a publisher that handles manuscripts really well, and pay attention to reader surveys. Toya-sensei, don't strain yourself. No, Kotobuki-sensei, if it is here, then I want to head straight towards it. Okay, here's the big moment where he sees his family again. That is unbelievable. You really did reconstruct the hall of the Ushirimiya mansion in the Fukian house. Yes, but I did it from memory. There might be small details that are off. No, this really is the hall in the Ushirimiya mansion. The painter who did the portrait on the order of Ushirimiya Kinzo still had the photograph. I made him paint it based on that. Now everyone, new guests have arrived. Here it is. Here's the big moment they're running towards, and he's going to see his family. Yep, see all of the sisters, the witches. Ah, you are quite late. You really took your time. Finally, you made it here. Oh, slow. Oh, little Sakatari's so cute. I'm getting tired of waiting for you, battler. And then you got Angie as well, young Angie. Hey, me, why am I sitting in a wheelchair? I'll lend you a hand, so hop and get up. Oh, that's so sweet. Here, let me shift it over. There you go, you see it a little bit better. Let's see, it took a long time. And then all their fights, you're incompetent, witches never have a change of heart. Just all of the stuff they went through. Listen, we are finally all gathered together here. Tonight, the Golden Land shall revive. At last, you came back. I will never let it go again. Oop, I don't know why it's... Hold on. There we go. You see a little bit better. I feel bad. Was it... I should have zoomed it out more. There you go. You can see a little better. I'll put it back over here. Yes, neither will I. Oh, that's so sweet. Such good... Like, the art is so pretty. Oh, if I have time, I might just have to read the whole manga. We are together forever. All right. There we go, guys. So... I hope you did enjoy my read-through of, I mean, not all of the chapters, because that would have taken quite a long time. I feel like this is coming up to an hour, and I only read 4 chapters out of how many? Probably like 20. So that would have taken a while, but hopefully you did enjoy my read-through of it. I am glad I did. I definitely learned, like, some new stuff. The whole thing about, like, the fact that Badler and Hachijo, they actually met Ava afterwards, which is wild, and I learned some more stuff about how she got the key and the diary and all that stuff, and then reading through when the seagulls cry, like getting more insight into what happened afterwards, seeing that Sayo actually survived and got to have that meeting with Badler again. Like, I had no idea all of that stuff happened, and confessing to Badler about the truth and how he accepted her. And yeah, I feel really dumb in retrospect that I didn't catch the fact that, like, maybe Sayo made it. I should know by now that, like, just because it says that someone died, of all the stories, I should realize that that doesn't necessarily mean that's the case. That, just because it's implied that somebody died, not necessarily true. So it was really sweet that they got to have that moment together before Sayo unfortunately decided that she didn't deserve to live. So it was a really good insight into more of the story. So I'm just learning more even after it's done. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up. So next Friday is going to be my post-game discussion. You guys have asked me a lot of questions, so I have to kind of like pick which questions I'm going to answer, and I have to like give some thought because some of the questions are going to require me to kind of have to go back and like reread or like remember certain things so I can give you guys good answers. So I hope you're looking forward to like my post Umineko discussion video. I also was told by people that there is like a post, like there's another mini chapter that's not very long. It's about 2 hours long. I can't remember what it's called. I will look into seeing if I can do a video on that too. Apparently it's almost like it's similar to like Higurashi where they've got like some of their like side episodes where this one is like a side episode as well. So I'll have to see if I can find if it's been translated, and if I can find it and get it running, then maybe I will do like another video. I do a little playthrough of that. So we'll see about that. And then of course I have things coming down the pipeline for Umineko. I want to play Golden Fantasia, the fighting game. Maybe I'll do a video about that. I'm going to be doing a reread on Patreon when I have the time to go over it and see if there's things that I missed. So you guys can subscribe to my Patreon, and I'll probably have some extra videos maybe on Patreon. Maybe I'll do like a special Umineko tier list. People have been asking me if I can do like a tier list about like favorite characters and stuff, or like a rating system. So maybe I'll do like a Patreon exclusive video about that. But I got a lot of other Umineko content in the pipeline, so keep an eye out for that. And then once I'm done all that stuff, the Higurashi Rei episodes will be my next playthrough. So stay tuned just a little bit longer. We're going to be getting back to Higurashi at some point. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next Friday for the discussion video. Until then, bye. Special shoutouts to my top tier patrons: Revealing Storm, Asborn Kennedy, Harry Gazif, iCognito, Jared Fan, Poxy, Joel Oostman, and Zoran Ether.